When regulars return to the iconic Hamilton Pool west of Austin this summer, they may not be able to recognize it. $2.5 million worth of work will welcome the swimmers, hikers, and picnickers to a pool rescued from an environmental disaster in 2007. Only on KXAN Austin News, Jim Swift continues his coverage of the cleanup.
Almost 4 years after construction site runoff fouled the popular Hamilton Pool swimming hole and the creek that feeds it, a cleanup of the pool is underway. Divers working from a pontoon don heavy metal helmets and head to the bottom of the pool wielding a giant vacuum hose. Visitors barely seem to notice.
It's beautiful. I'm going to come back in the spring when things are starting to bud out and take some pictures early in the morning and late afternoon.
What do you like about it?
Just the natural beauty of it, just the combination of the rock and the water and the waterfalls and the sun, and it's beautiful.
After the runoff hit the pool, the slightest contact with the bottom sent clouds of silt swirling through the water. Now, though, swimmers walk along the shallows and almost nothing stirs.
Whenever we get done, basically, you'll be able to see almost like straight down, like 20 feet. It'll be really nice and clear.
This is just an example of the creek where it started to silt is still present.
But before anything could be done to the swimming hole, crews had to spend months scrubbing the 6 miles of creek bed between the pool and the construction site that caused the damage. And because heavy equipment could not be used, the cleanup tools were fire hoses and brooms.
If I had to put it in personal words, I feel like we've given the creek a breath.
Meanwhile, the source of the pollution was shored up and planted in native grasses to prevent further contamination. The creek project worked so well that even heavy runoff from Tropical Storm Hermine ran clear and clean on its way downstream to Hamilton Pool. So now, as bubbles rising to the surface mark the progress of a diver across the bottom of the pool, a nearby pump sends the remaining silt-laden water to the top of a cliff, and then another 2,000 feet uphill to a huge complex of tanks and filters.
This is the dirty water that we have pulled out of Hamilton Pool. We run it through our processes to clean it, filter presses, and this is a same day, about the same time, water that's been cleaned.
Money from a $3.5 million settlement of a lawsuit against the developer and its excavation contractor paid for all this, as well as for the finishing touches that will fill a nearby abandoned quarry with the silt and other debris collected from the water.
We will stabilize this, put some topsoil on it, and vegetate it with some native seed.
The result, says consulting engineer Victoria Harkins, will be one pretty picture. Jim Swift, KXAN, Austin News.
Beautiful. And Jim reports the Hamilton Pool cleanup should be finished by mid to late April, just in time for the summer outdoor season.
Now, first warning weather with Jim Spencer.
You know, I know you've been watching all of the images like everyone has today of the earthquake, the tsunami.